If you or someone you know has diabetes, you may have built up an extra supply of test strips and lancets. That's where we come in. We'll buy the supplies that you don't need and resell them to those in need to prevent waste. Help us make diabetes management more affordable. Visit us at teststripswithaz.com.
All right, we have Andrea Lee back on the show. She returns to action next Saturday night against Joanne Calderwood at UFC 242 in Abu Dhabi. Big fight in the women's flyweight division. And we have KGB here right now. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great. So it's great to have you back on the show. Big fight coming up in a little over a week from right now. And this is one of those fights and matchups that you had your eye on coming off the win over Montana De La Rosa. So how has everything been going as we're getting closer and closer to this fight?
Well, I've been training really hard, and everything's coming along well. I leave out on the 29th, which is this Thursday. So, we plan on getting down there a little bit early, get adapted, and finish cutting all my weight and stuff there.
Makes a lot of sense. Have you been to Abu Dhabi before, or is this the first time you've gone there?
No, it's the first time. I've never been to the Middle East before.
I know a lot of fighters, when they get into the UFC, they want to travel the world. They look forward to visiting different places and doing all that kinds of stuff. Do you enjoy that aspect of it, getting to visit these different places around the world?
Oh, of course. Traveling is something that I always wanted to do. It was something I had hoped that I could be, I could make it a career, or at least I had hoped that, my career would involve traveling. So, I got my wish and I'm excited to go.
I know when we last spoke, you were hoping that your next fight would be October, November, maybe sometime at the end of the year so you can enjoy the summertime with your daughter and not really have to worry about a fight. Obviously, you get this fight booked in September. It wasn't too long after your last fight ended that this one was booked. So when you got the matchup, were you hoping it was a little bit later on the calendar, or are you good with it?
I was hoping, it could be a little bit later, but they told me, right away that it was going to be the early September. And I figured, what the heck, I'll go ahead and I'll get this fight. And I was able to renegotiate my contract, so I'm going to get paid more. And, I'm hoping to not have to fight for the rest of the year. So, I figured go ahead and get it out of the way, and then I can enjoy the rest of the year and, spend time with my daughter and enjoy the holidays.
So did you get a new contract altogether?
Yeah, it was time to renegotiate anyway. My contract. This will be like my last fight on my last contract.
And how many fights did you sign for, if you don't mind me asking?
For this contract, I renegotiated for 6 fights.
Okay, cool. Well, congratulations. Happy with everything? Everything worked out in your favor?
Yeah.
Well, now you get a big fight in Joanne Calderwood, and JoJo was somebody many considered to be next in line for a shot at the belt heading into her last fight with Katlyn Chookagian. And, she lost that fight via unanimous decision. So in terms of trajectory, it's the perfect matchup at the perfect time for you. But, from a stylistic perspective, how do you like the matchup with Joanne?
I think it's great. I was hoping to get, I was hoping to fight a striker, for my next fight. I've fought, it seems like, mostly wrestlers, the past couple of times. So I'm looking forward to this matchup with Joanne. Her Muay Thai is extremely good. She's really savvy, and I think we both match up really well. I think we're both going to be able to put on an exciting fight for all the fans and for Dana White and everyone.
Heading into your last fight with Montana, I know when we spoke, you said there was a lot going on. There was a lot on your mind, and you were able to push through all of that and get an impressive win. Although you were not overly thrilled with your performance. You are a fighter, so you are more self-critical than anybody else in the world. That's just your job. So has this camp, this preparation been a little bit different, or has there still been a lot of other things going on heading into this camp?
It seems like there's always something going on, but I'm able to remain focused on the task at hand. As far as like my last fight, I watched my performance, and I don't feel as badly about it anymore. I just in that moment, I wasn't thinking it was my best, but I've seen it, and I feel like it was a really good fight. Everyone thinks they can always do more, but I think that I was able to pull through there at the end and finish strong. I think it was a good fight.
I'm glad to hear you say that, because I thought it was a great fight too. I thought it was a great performance. I thought the third round in particular was a very telling round for you. It was a great round for you, and you were able to get the victory. So going back and watching it, what did you feel like you needed to do better?
Probably just let go more, let my hands go. I was really hesitant a lot because of the takedowns. I was worried about getting taken down and getting put on my back and it looking bad to the judges. But every time that she took me down, I was never on my back. I was just on my butt, and I was able to get back to my feet. But at the same time, I was also pretty hesitant, So I think that I should have let things go a little bit more.
You've obviously found a lot of success since moving to a different team. Your coaches know you very well. They're leading you down the road to success in a lot of different ways. So what are some of the things that you guys have been focusing on for this camp? Or really, has it just been like a normal camp, business as usual type thing?
I feel like it's been a normal camp. I've been practicing and working on a lot of Muay Thai and also wrestling and Jiu-Jitsu. So, I think that, in every camp, I continue to work a lot of the same, not necessarily the same stuff, but I work everything. I work every discipline, always trying to get better, always improving and just getting better in every aspect.
How do you see this all going down next Saturday in Abu Dhabi? It's a big fight for you. It's a big fight for Joanne. It's on a huge card in the Middle East at a stadium they're just building just for you guys, essentially. How do you see this all playing out?
I don't know. I don't like to speculate, but I feel I'm going to get my hand raised. I think that, again, it's going to be a really exciting fight. Hopefully we'll be able to get the bonus. We're just, I think that we both can be very exciting. And I think in all of my fights, I've put on a very exciting performance. And the fact that I'm fighting a striker, I think it can only be fun to watch, so I just hope that everyone enjoys it, and I hope I get my hand raised, and I don't know, we'll see.
So we're shooting for a bonus. We're shooting for an exciting fight. No predictions here. We're just shooting for an exciting fight. Now, obviously, if you do when you get your hand raised, that shoots you up there quite a bit. You're already shooting up there anyways, and I know you're not necessarily a shot caller, but you will fight anybody. But knowing that there are some important fights booked for this division later on this year, how important is it for you to not just get a win, but put a little oomph behind it and make a statement to everyone in the UFC and the rest of this division?
With every fight, it's important to make a statement. I know that moving into the top 5, that's going to put me in line for a title shot, and that's a big deal in itself. I want that opportunity. I know that I'm going to have to really, really train hard for that. I train hard for every fight, but it's.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, do you look at it like that? Like, you see the different fights being made. I know Kagan's got a big matchup. Jessica Ai's getting back in there. There's some surging contenders in the division as well. Do you look at it that way? Be like, all right, I have to outdo what these other girls do in their fights. You know what I mean? Or do you just focus on the victory?
I just try to focus on my victory. I don't really necessarily worry about how they're finishing their fights. In every fight, I want to go in there. I want to be exciting, and I just want to get the win. And however I have to do that, I'm going to do it. Whether it's a knockout or a submission or decision, I just want to go out there and I want to get my hand raised. I'm doing this. It's not that I'm not just fighting for a title and for that opportunity. I'm fighting for myself. I'm fighting for my daughter. I'm fighting to make a living. So for me, just every fight is important, and right now, what's on my mind is I need this money so I can live, I enjoy fighting. I love fighting. It's what I want to do. Even if I had $1 million, I'd still want to fight because it's just something that I love. But right now, I'm not at that point. I don't have $1 million, so right now I'm just fighting, to live. I'm fighting to secure, my life at home. And, I've got divorce, I've got custody, I've got bullshit going on in my personal life. So really, for me, right now, my focus is just my family.
So you would like the belts, but you don't necessarily need the belts. That's your mentality right now. Is that fair to say?
It's fair to say. I do. It's not that I don't need I need that because I want it. Yes, I want it. Don't necessarily need it. But that's what I'm striving for, because I mean, the champion, you know, there's a lot that goes into being a champion, and you know, that's a big weight to bear. And right now, with everything that's going on in my personal life, I don't know how I would be able to handle it. So right now, I'm just, you know, one fight at a time.
I like that approach. It's the Bill Belichickian New England Patriots way of doing things. I don't know if you're a big football fan or not, but you know, I could attest to that being here from Massachusetts. So, what did you think of what did you think of Valentina's last title defense against Liz Carmouche? Did you watch that fight, and what did you take away from it?
I did watch that fight, you know, and Liz, she did good. She made it every single round. You know, lost a decision. I felt like Liz held back a lot. I think that she was probably she looked really nervous in the fight. You know, we've seen her fight other fights, and you know, she comes out there, she's really aggressive. But it seemed like she just kind of paced herself. She kind of went along with Valentina's pace, and I think she held back. She was pretty reserved. So hopefully, you know, when I get that opportunity, I don't want to fight nervous. I don't want to fight scared. I want to fight and come forward. You know, I want to put the pressure on. So, you know, that's kind of like what I took away.
What do you hope to see, check out while you're in Abu Dhabi, or is it just all business, focusing on the fight and nothing more? Is there anything that you're planning on doing while you're out there?
I want to enjoy it too. This is you know, I mean, like, before you know it, all this is going to be over. You know, I have a short window of opportunity to really enjoy the journey. So as I fight, and you know, every time I go and travel somewhere, you know, out of the country, each state that I go to, I try to enjoy it, you know, and I want to bring back souvenirs. You know, it's something to remember. I don't know if I'm ever going to be going back to Abu Dhabi. So of course I want to take it all in and remember and make memories and enjoy every moment of it.
Who do you like, Khabib or Dustin Poirier?
Of course I'm going with Dustin.
That's a hell of a fight. I think a lot of people are overlooking Dustin in this fight right now.
He's always overlooked. He's always the underdog. So, you know, I'm going for Dustin. I'm in his corner.
There you go. It's all part of UFC 242 coming up next weekend. Andrea Lee will be a part of that card, taking on Joanne Calderwood. Big fight in the women's flyweight division. Really looking forward to it. Andrea, thank you for the time. I know you got training to get ready for. Before we let you go, let the folks know where they can follow along on this journey with you via social media. Any shout outs, anything you want to get off your chest, the floor is yours.
All right, guys, you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Andrea KGB Lee. And, you know, thanks for having me on, Mike. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Always great catching up with you. And best of luck to you next weekend. Enjoy the trip to Abu Dhabi.
Thank you. Take care.